Objection! That pizza place is amazing. You can't shut it down. Have you even tried their pepperoni?
Apollo? You do know this is a burger place we're talking about, right?
Oh, right.
Humph, this is ludicrous. Your immature lawyers are not even prepared for this trial.
How dare you call me immature? For your information, I've been practicing law for, 7 months now, and 2 weeks.
Oh, how utterly impressive. I'm practically trembling in awe.
Please, Athena. You're not helping.
Order in the court! Can't you focus on the case at hand for 5 seconds?
Excellent idea, your boldness. I couldn't agree more. Now, bring the forensic investigator to the stand.
Remain calm, everyone. We have this situation under control. As you know, in today's trial, the fast food chain Instaburger is under the charge of serving poisoned food at one of its establishments. One of their customers...
Hold it! Aren't you forgetting something? This customer happened to be our employer, Phoenix Wright.
Exactly. And as a result of this assumed food poisoning, he's currently sick in a hospital. How can you say that you have this under control?
No need to panic. It was all just a big misunderstanding. We did a thorough inspection of the area, and we found no conclusive evidence to prove that the food was not in fact poisoned.
What?
No poison was detected around the kitchen area, and the forensics team has concluded that the result of Mr. Wright's sickness was merely the result of an undercooked burger.
Wait, so we came all the way here for this trial, and it only turned out to be a problem with undercooked meat?
Undercooked meat? What is this, McDonald's? You uneducated fops have no idea how to conduct a proper investigation.
I know that voice anywhere.
Brace yourself, Athena. We're definitely going to hear it from Ema later.
For once, I agree with Professor Loudmouth. These claims are absolute balderdash.
Oh my! This is quite an interesting turn of events. Do you have any proof of your claim, detective?
Of course, Your Honor. As you can see from this record, no traces of poisonous chemicals were detected anywhere in the kitchen. As you know, it is an established security procedure for the restaurant to inspect its foods for toxins before serving it to the customer. If any toxins were detected, the restaurant manager would have been notified. Therefore, it is safe to say that Mr. Wright is merely suffering from sickness as a result of the meat in his burger being undercooked, or for some other reason.
Objection! Your Honor, are you seriously considering...
Overruled. I see no flaws in the forensic team's logic, and as a frequent patron of Instaburger myself, I would hate to see it shut down after a misunderstanding like this. Also, I have a dance class this afternoon, and I would rather like to wrap up this trial.
This truly is the dark age of the law.
But...
No butts, no cuts, no coconuts, Mr. Justice. Court is adjourned.
What the heck just happened? That wasn't even a real trial. That was...
It was a mess, that's what it was. I thought judges were supposed to be unbiased.
Well, to be fair, we weren't really prepared for this trial in the first place. All we knew before then was that Mr. Wright was in the hospital after eating bad food at some restaurant. You didn't even know what restaurant it was.
I was confused, okay? You were just as clueless as I was. Don't try to deny it.
Probably. Have you heard anything from Mr. Wright yet?
Not a thing. We haven't heard from him since the accident. I wonder how he's holding up.
You two!
Oh boy, here we go.
What was that? Wait, don't answer that. I know what that was. That was the worst trial I have ever seen. Undercooked meat? Phoenix Wright almost died and is bedridden, and they're writing it off as undercooked meat. A bad burger. This is an insult to detectives everywhere. I can't believe the nerve of some people. They could be investigating a knife fight and think, oh, they all fell down the stairs. We're done. And that soft-headed judge would believe them.
Detective Skye? Are you okay?
I'll be fine, I guess. This whole thing is just ridiculous.
I bet you wish the Criminal Affairs Department assigned you to investigate the case.
Are you kidding? None of this would have happened if I just... Oh, wait a second.
What is it?
Oh, it's nothing. You know, I should probably drop this whole trial business anyway. No use getting angry about stuff that already happened, right, Athena? Is there some sort of psychological reason for that?
I'd answer your question if I didn't have a sneaking suspicion that you're up to something.
Who, me? I'm a law-abiding detective in the Criminal Affairs Department. I wouldn't even dream of doing something crazy like that.
Ow. My bracelet says otherwise.
Something crazy like what?
Wow, look at the time. Everyone's filing out of the courtroom, and I should probably get going too. Catch you later!
Bye? Okay, I have no idea what just happened. Detective Skye was really irritated at first, but all of a sudden her emotions just shifted. She went from angry to cheerful just like that.
We better keep an eye on her. I don't know what she's up to, but if I know Emma, there's no way she'll change her mind once it's made up.
I guess you're right.
Just what I thought. No traces of poison in the kitchen. It's gotta be somewhere else. This is interesting. I'm detecting traces of sleep-inducing chemicals on this table. This has got to be the cause of the poisoning. All I have to do now is establish a theory as to how this could have happened. Huh?
I don't know about this. Do you really think it's a good idea to do that again?
Come on now. What did I tell you when I first asked you to do this for me?
That there was only one rule that I had to follow?
That's right. And do you remember what that rule was?
You said not to question your decisions.
Exactly. Thank you. That's all I wanted. It's that simple.
But what we're doing, it's not nice, and it's probably legal, and...
Listen, sometimes good leaders have to make hard choices for the good of our community. I want our community to be strong and healthy, and I can't do that with bad influence getting in my way. Do you understand?
I guess so. you're probably right.
Who the heck are these guys? Excuse me, can I ask what you're doing here?
Oh, great. You didn't see anything. Move along.
Who are you? You're not the assigned investigator for this crime scene.
Well, neither you.
I was just leaving. Where'd the other one run off to?
Well, you better be careful. I only have 2 targets right now, and I already nailed one. I really don't want to add a 3rd target to my list.
Wait, what do you mean, targets? Oh, great. I had 1 lead and now he's gone. Can things get any worse?
Hey you!
Yes, they can.
This is a crime scene. What do you think you're doing?
It's not what you think, officers. I may have just found conclusive evidence pertaining to a much bigger crime than an undercooked burger.
And are you the assigned forensic investigator for this case?
What am I supposed to do? I can't lie to the police. No, but
But nothing. You aren't authorized to be here.
I am with the Criminal Affairs Department.
And a violation like this could be enough to strip you of your position. Detective Skye, you're under arrest.
You don't understand. If this evidence isn't presented, people's lives could be at risk.
And what you don't understand is that you illegally tampered with the scene of a crime.
Now you better come quietly, or we're going to have to resort to using our cool police gear on you.
Fine, but you're making a big mistake.
Oh man, so I don't get to use my taser.
Next time, buddy. Next time.
I've got to present this evidence somehow. I owe it to Mr. Wright. Maybe I could get Apollo and Athena to defend me in court. I need to find some way to tell them about this.
Let's see. Would this book about the history of Bigfoot sightings go under fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction, I guess? Better question, why do we even have a book like that in the office?
It's probably one of Trucy's. I just decided I'd sort out the bookshelf since there's nothing else to do right now.
This is so boring! We haven't had a client in days, and Mr. Wright still hasn't gotten back to us. I know he's still recovering, but I'm worried about him.
So am I. And I'd hate to fight with Athena over which one of us should take over the agency if the need arises.
Hey, the phone's ringing! Quick, Apollo, pick it up! It could be Mr. Wright!
Okay, I'll pick it up. That's weird. This is a collect call from the county jail.
Wait, what? Who would be calling us from jail?
I have my suspicions. Hello?
Apollo! Thank goodness you picked up. Is Athena with you?
She's right here, Emma. I've got you on speakerphone so we can both talk to you.
Hiya! Not to be rude or anything, but why exactly are you in jail?
Well, you know that case a few days ago when that burger place was put on trial? And the assigned forensic team didn't find any traces of poison?
Yeah?
Emma, you've got to be kidding me. You snuck into the crime scene and tampered with the evidence, didn't you?
Well, I wouldn't call it tampering, but I did run a few forensic tests.
Ha! So our suspicions were correct then.
Great. So I assume the police caught you and arrested you?
No, I'm just visiting the country jail because I like the food here. Of course I got arrested. It's terrible here. They won't even let me have my snacks.
I'm really sorry, Detective Skye. Is there anything we can do to help?
Actually, there is. While I was investigating the burger place, I found some crucial evidence that the forensic team for that case overlooked. I need you to go in there and check it out.
But how will we be able to investigate without a permit? We'd be arrested ourselves.
Easy. You're gonna defend me in court. As my lawyers, it'd be perfectly fine for you to investigate the place where I committed my so-called crime.
What?
Of course, we'd be happy to provide your defense.
Now wait just a minute here.
Don't don't tell me you're hesitating to make your decision, Apollo. That really hurts, you know.
But you were doing something illegal. And also, you basically confessed to doing something illegal.
But you're forgetting why I was doing it. Think about it. We haven't heard a thing from Mr. Wright. We have no idea what condition he's in. We owe it to him to find out the real reason why he got sick.
I suppose so.
Come on, Apollo! How long has it been since we've had a client? We're a disgrace to our profession, almost.
This is so humiliating. I'm being forced into defending my criminal friend by my teenage coworker. I guess. There's no reason why I should object. Alright, Emma. Athena and I will defend you in court. But my main goal is to have justice served on whoever did this to Mr. Wright.
Alright! Finally an actual case!
I'll take what I can get. Thanks so much, guys.
No hay problema. We'll get you out of there in no time.
Just try not to get into any more trouble, for all of our sakes.
I'll try my best.
No, I mean, seriously.
Well, I'm running out of time. I better hang out before the prison wardens get suspicious. Thanks again for being my defense, guys.
Of course. See you in court.
Yeah. Oh, and good luck with the investigation.
Thanks. I have a feeling we'll need it. Well, see you later then.
See ya. Oh, and one more thing. The evidence should be really easy to find if you look for it in the right place.
What was that supposed to mean?
This is so great! We've actually got a chance to save our friend and our boss at the same time. Lawyer powers, engage!
We're defense attorneys, not superheroes, Athena. But I agree with you. We might not get this kind of chance again. We have to take it.
Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's go investigate that restaurant already!
Hold on a second. We haven't eaten lunch yet. I don't usually like to investigate on an empty stomach.
I suppose you're right. Come to think of it, I'm starving.
Okay then. So lunch first, and then we investigate the restaurant.
Sounds like a plan. As long as it's not burgers.
No, of course not.
So, this is Instaburger, huh?
Yep. I still can't believe the police let us come in here.
It looks almost spooky with nobody here. No staff, no customers. It's like a ghost town, only it's a ghost restaurant.
Great. Now I'm even more nervous. And I just ate lunch, too.
Keep it together, Apollo. We're attorneys specializing in criminal law. We're not afraid of some little old burger ghost.
Burger ghost? Seriously? I guess you're right. Emma and Mr. Wright are counting on us. We have to find that evidence.
Alright then, let's do this! So, where exactly did Detective Skye find this crucial evidence?
She didn't give the specifics, but she did say it would be easy to find if we looked in the right place.
Maybe she left a clue or something?
It's possible, but I'm not sure about where to start looking.
Hey, there's something over here. It might be a clue.
You mean this white stuff on the floor over here?
Yeah. What do you think it is? Could it have been placed here for a reason?
Maybe. It could just be some flour that somebody spilled, but I'm not so sure. Flour doesn't have that kind of texture.
Oh, it could be fingerprint powder. And it looks like the trail continues for a while. Maybe Detective Skye left it here to lead us to the evidence.
A trail of fingerprint powder, huh? Let's hope it doesn't lead to a house made out of snack food.
Huh. The trail just stops here.
Okay, so, logically, this is where we should start looking for evidence.
But what kind of evidence? Like forensic-y stuff?
Forensic-y stuff? I doubt that's an official term for, whatever you're trying to describe.
You know, forensic-y stuff. DNA, fingerprints, weird chemicals, other stuff like that.
And she graduated law school. How exactly? We don't have any forensic tools, other than half a container of fingerprint powder, but if we find any spots that look like they might contain weird chemicals, then we can always take samples and send them to the crime lab for testing.
Sounds good. So we should start examining the tables then.
Right. I'll take the ones on this side.
This is getting nowhere. A couple of the tables have grease spots, but it's not like they've been melted by acid or anything. How are we supposed to find any traces of poison?
Beats me. Hey, there's a piece of paper on the floor.
Weird. It's got a bunch of names on it. What do you think it is?
My guess is that it's some kind of customer record for a few days ago. Look, it's got each customer's name, followed by their table number, and what kind of food they ordered.
Hey, check it out! Mr. Wright's name is on here. Apollo! I think I know what Detective Skye's clue meant.
She left a clue?
Yeah, during the phone call when she said we have to look in the right place. What if she didn't mean right as in correct, but right as in Phoenix Wright?
So then the right place would be the table where Mr. Wright was sitting when he was poisoned. You might be onto something, Athena.
Yes! That's 1 point for Team Cykes!
The customer record says that Mr. Wright was at table 15 and that he ordered a super deluxe greasy burger with fries.
Okay, so table 15 it is. Check out these weirdly colored grease spots. You think there's poison in there?
If there was poison in the food, it's not unlikely. Let's take a sample of this, and then take samples of the other grease spots for comparisons.
Right. So, is that it? We're done?
I don't think so. We should make sure we've covered the whole restaurant so that we don't have a chance of missing anything.
Sounds like a plan to me. And anyways, we still need to find out who poisoned Mr. Wright in the first place.
If he even was poisoned. The crime lab still needs to determine that. But you're right. For now, we should operate on the basis that he was poisoned so that we can build our case.
Of course, that's exactly what I was thinking.
There doesn't seem to be anything else suspicious here.
What if the culprit disposed of any other evidence? Maybe we should check the trash cans.
Yeah, I don't think that's what disposing of evidence really means, but it's worth a shot.
Ah, this is disgusting.
That's strange. There's nothing in here except the remains of one meal. They must have emptied the trash out before then.
Remains? It looks like it hasn't been touched yet. There's a whole burger in there, and that container is still full of fries.
So someone just threw the meal away without eating any of it? Wait a minute. There's a table marker in here. with the number 15 on it.
Wasn't that Mr. Wright's table number? And no one else ate here after he did because the restaurant closed down.
Exactly, Athena. I think we have a lead.
This renders that detective guy's claim totally false. He said that Mr. Wright got sick because of undercooked meat, right? That would be impossible if he didn't eat the food at all.
But if the food didn't make him sick, then what did?
Hey, look at this! It's an empty drink cup. I think there's still some soda in here.
Wait! Don't touch that! I think that might have been what poisoned Mr. Wright.
What?
If he didn't eat his meal, the poison had to have been in the drink, so if the waiter had brought his drink before the meal, he would have been out before he had a chance to eat anything.
So those aren't actually grease spots on the table. It's just spilled soda, right?
Right. And I have a hunch that if the same chemical substance is detected both in the spill and in the cup, we'll have evidence to prove our claim. That someone was actively trying to poison Mr. Wright.
We have to get samples of this and bring it to the crime lab as soon as possible.
I'll get the samples. You can let the police know we're done investigating, and then we'll head out.
On it! Hey, what's this supposed to be? Apollo, there's some sort of weird poster that I didn't see before.
That's not important, Athena. Come on, we have to get to the crime lab.
If you say so, but I'm getting kind of a strange feeling about this poster.
What are you waiting for?
Okay. I'm sure I didn't see this before. This has got to mean something.
Athena, come on!
Coming! Apollo! Over here! I was starting to wonder when you'd show up.
Well, some of us need to sleep in, like normal humans.
Hey, you know the saying. Early to bed and early to rise.
Okay, I get it.
I'm not worried too much about waking up early. In fact, I've been known to sleep until past noon on occasions.
And how she does it continues to elude me.
Emma, how long have you been here?
The police brought me in a few minutes ago. So did you guys find the evidence?
We sure did. The prosecution won't know what hit him. Who is prosecuting this case, by the way?
You should know by now that Simon Blackwell always finishes what he starts.
Prosecutor Blackquill.
Hello, Detective Snack Food. I see Athena and Professor Loudmouth have come running to provide your defense.
How come I'm Professor Loudmouth and Emma's Detective Snack Food, and you're just Athena?
Oh, don't worry. He's still trying to come up with a nickname for me.
Prosecutor Blackquill, you know as well as I do that the trial of Instenberger didn't exactly end with a just verdict. As a certified forensic investigator, it's my responsibility to make sure the truth about a crime is revealed.
I'm well aware, Detective, but that does not change the fact that you illegally snuck into a crime scene and ran forensic tests without permission. You said yourself that you are a certified forensic investigator, therefore, you should have more respect for the rules.
But don't you agree with me that there's something up with this case? They're trying to hide something, I just know it.
Humph. The trial starts in 10 minutes. We should make our way to the courtroom.
Don't let him get to you, Emma. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, fine.
Anyway, we should probably head in.
Good luck, you two. Make me look good out there.
We'll try our best.
I sure hope we can make the judge listen to reason this time.
Court is now in session for the trial of Ema Skye. Are the defense and prosecution ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
And of course the prosecution is ready, Your Boldness.
Right then. Now, if you wouldn't mind, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement.
If I must. Although, I must say, it is quite tiring having to present the opening statement for every single case.
I understand completely. Getting old is hard enough as it is, without having to preside over matters of law. Mr. Justice! You are young and energetic. Why don't you give us the opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Quit blabbering already. Have you no sympathy for the old and decrepit? His boldness and I won't be around forever.
But since when did Prosecutor Blackwell start calling himself old?
Simon's already bringing out his confusing psychology tactics? Is he trying to make this trial complicated on purpose?
Well, why don't you just psychology back at him?
Because analytical psychology and manipulative psychology are two very different things.
You're a big help.
We don't have all day, Mr. Justice.
Okay then, if you insist. A defense attorney making an opening statement? How did I get into this mess? If I'm correct, it is the prosecution's belief that 2 nights ago, the defendant entered an Instaburger establishment, which was the scene of a previous investigation, without permission or a search warrant, and tampered with the evidence pertaining to the crime.
Well done, Professor Loudmouth. I couldn't have said it better myself.
The least you could do is stop calling me that.
And does the defense have a response to what he just said?
The defense wishes to argue that the defendant did not make any attempt to tamper with the evidence. In fact, we believe she had a legitimate reason to investigate the restaurant.
Well, why don't we see what the defendant has to say about that? Detective Skye, could you please take to the stand?
I admit I snuck into the restaurant without a search warrant. But that was only because the police made me wait too long for it. And if I kept waiting, the crime scene would have been closed down. Anyway, I had every reason to conduct an investigation. The assigned forensic investigators overlooked a major detail that is absolutely crucial to the case. And after examining this detail, I have reason to believe that there is someone in the restaurant who is actively trying to poison Mr. Wright.
It appears that you are trying to distract us from the point of this trial. Whatever evidence you did find does not change the fact that you violated an established investigation procedure.
With all due respect, Your Honor, if I'm correct in my theory, then you need the information I have. I don't know about you, but I really don't like the idea of sitting in a prison cell while some criminal runs around attempting to poison more innocent people.
Hold it! Detective Skye, you're making a good point here, but remember that Athena and I are your lawyers. You hired us to defend you, so could you please let us do our job?
Of course, sorry about that. I'm just saying it makes more sense to throw someone in jail for attempted poison than for just crossing some police tape.
She's not going to give this up, is she?
Your boldness, if I may. I have a proposition.
Very well, you may proceed.
The defendant has been charged with the tampering of evidence, as well as the crossing of police lines. If we can prove that she did not change or modify the evidence while she was there, it would give rise to the fact that she did discover something the police overlooked. At which point, it would be responsible for the court to examine her previous claims and establish a verdict from there.
Whoa, hold up a second. Could you say that again in English or another language that I can understand?
I think what Prosecutor Blackwell's trying to say is, if we can prove that Emma didn't tamper with the evidence, the court would have a reason to believe what she's saying about the poison is true.
I think I get it. And if we can prove that she had a probable cause, the judge might think about letting her go without a prison sentence. And then hopefully, we'll be able to figure out who the real culprit is.
Exactly. Your Honor, the defense asserts to the prosecution's proposal.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to proceed with this plan. Are there any witnesses who might be able to provide insight on what the detective was up to?
Yes, Your Boldness. The waiter was at the restaurant during the specified time.
Well then, have him present his testimony by all means. Please state your name and occupation to the court.
My name's Chucky, and I wait tables at Instaburger.
You look familiar. Have we met before?
Oh, you must be thinking of my cousin. He does noodles. People confuse me with him a lot.
Noted. And can you please tell us what happened at the restaurant the other night?
Sure. So I was cleaning up the restaurant at 8 p.m. and I was getting ready to head out. Only when I started out the door, I heard a noise in the kitchen. It sounded kind of like footsteps, so I turned around to see what it was. Then I saw that detective lady messing with some food on table 15, and I guess she was startled to see me, so she dropped her fingerprint powder and ran for the door. Then the police showed up, and that's all I remember, because I left after that.
I commend you on your testimony, witness. Very concise and to the point. A real specimen as far as testimonies go.
Your Honor? Aren't we supposed to, cross-examine him, or...
Miss Sykes, you will not interrupt me when I am complimenting on the witness's fabulous testimony.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Never mind. You ruined the moment. You may commence your cross-examination now, I suppose.
Right. Time to look for holes in Chucky's testimony.
Holes, huh? Let's see. Oh, Prosecutor Blackwell, does Instaburger happen to have any security cameras?
Of course. Per standard fast food restaurant protocol. Why do you ask?
Well, Chucky said he saw Detective Skye at 8 p.m. before he left. We can always check the camera footage for that time and see if it lines up with his claims, right?
That makes sense to me.
You lawyers, always so naive and unprepared. If you had actually researched the case, you would know that there was a power outage that started exactly at 8 p.m., at which time the security cameras were out of commission until an hour or so later.
What?
You've got to be kidding me!
Great! Now how are we supposed to find out what happened?
Wait a second. Maybe we could still get something out of the footage from before and after the power outage. We can compare the recordings and look for differences, and then see if the differences match up with Chucky's testimony.
That makes sense. Prosecutor Blackquill, is it okay if we examine the video recordings from before and after the power outage?
I suppose so, but I doubt it may make a difference.
So here's a shot of the restaurant at 8 p.m., right before the blackout. And here's one recorded at about 9:30, when the cameras turned back on.
I'm definitely seeing some things that stand out here. How about you, Apollo?
You're right. This footage is showing some clear contradictions to Chucky's testimony.
Wait, what?
That's right. Chucky, didn't you say that you saw Detective Skye messing with some food on the table at 8 p.m.? I don't see any food on the table in either of the shots. Was there actually food on the table at all, before or after the blackout?
Well, there was, but she moved it.
Hold it! Where did you see her move it to?
I don't know. Somewhere in the kitchen, maybe?
Then tell me this. When Athena and I went to investigate, why did we find an uneaten meal in the trash can?
I can explain. Oh, man.
Silence! So what? There was food in the trash can. How does that prove that Detective Skye wasn't at the restaurant tampering with the evidence?
If there's one flaw in the testimony, there's a good chance we'll find more. And come to think of it, I can easily point out a few more flaws from these videos here.
Yeah, like how you said she was so startled that she dropped her fingerprint powder and left? If that was the case, we'd have seen a jar of fingerprint powder on the floor when we were conducting our investigation. But we scoured the whole place and didn't find one. And I'm not seeing any jars on the floor in these videos either.
And for the record, I wasn't scared of that waiter guy. If anything, he was scared when he saw me, during some conversation he had with this other guy.
Conversation? Chucky, you didn't mention anything like that in your testimony.
I guess it just slipped my mind. I was talking with another raider when we were cleaning up. That's it.
I see.
Objection! This is all well and good defense, but how does any of this prove that Detective Skye was not tampering with the evidence?
That is a very good question, which I obviously have the answer to.
We can't afford for you to bluff our way out of this, Apollo.
Maybe we're doing this all wrong. If we stop looking for details and just look at the big picture...
Besides the floor being mopped and the empty cup being tipped over, the two recordings are exactly the same, which means that nothing was altered.
She could have easily tipped the cup over.
Objection! I don't think so. If we move the play back to a few seconds later...
The cup's on the floor.
Which means that the cup was still rolling on the table at 9:30, so logic dictates that it had to have been tipped over just before then, and not an hour earlier.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't have any momentum left. It's physics.
It's possible the cup was already tipped over and a breeze blew it onto the floor.
A breeze? In a locked restaurant with closed windows and barely any ventilation system? Give me a break, Blackquill.
But what about any form of tampering that the security cameras didn't catch? She could have been placing toxic chemicals on the table.
I don't think so. When Detective Skye was arrested, the police would have searched her for suspicious items. According to this account of her arrest, they didn't find anything except this camera-like device.
Yeah, it attaches to my phone to help scan for abnormal molecular structures. It's not anything illegal.
And there you have it. There's no way the defendant could have changed or modified the evidence before she was arrested.
I suppose you could be correct.
From my perspective, there is no room for debate. You've proven to the court that it is highly unlikely for the defendant to have tampered with the evidence.
All right!
Ah, but you forget. Whether she tampered with the evidence or not, there is no questioning the fact that Detective Skye broke into the restaurant without a search warrant, and that alone deserves some sort of punishment, even if she had a probable cause.
I suppose so. With that in mind, my verdict will...
Hold it! Your Honor, you agreed that if the court could prove my innocence with regards to the evidence tampering issue, then you would take into consideration the new evidence that I found.
Ah, yes. The evidence pertaining to the Instaburger case. Very well, let's hear it. Why is this evidence so significant?
For one thing, it is very likely that the victim, Phoenix Wright, never actually ate his meal, which renders the previous undercooked meat claim false.
As if you have proof of that.
As a matter of fact, we do.
Take a look at this photo here. It's pretty obvious that the burger and fries haven't been touched at all.
You can't prove anything.
Maybe not, but we have even more conclusive evidence that you won't be able to refute. Or we will, once the crime lab finishes testing it.
Wait, what? Apollo! I thought you said you'd stop by the crime lab before the trial.
Well, I did, but they told me that they weren't finished testing our samples and that we'd have to wait until tomorrow. I tried to tell them about the trial, but they didn't seem to listen.
Ay. What are we going to do now?
Just what is this important evidence that you sent to the crime lab, Mr. Justice?
It was something the police overlooked during the initial Instaburger investigation. Detective Skye was actually the one who found it first.
The night I got arrested, I detected some strange chemicals inside a half-empty drink cup. It wasn't a lot, but it was definitely enough to knock a guy unconscious for a few days, at most.
So you're saying the waiter brought Mr. Wright a poisoned drink and then threw the rest of the meal away so the police wouldn't suspect him?
That's my theory, Your Honor.
A very interesting discovery, but of course you know that your claim is inadmissible to the court without some sort of proof. And I'm afraid we'll have to close the Instaburger case if no legitimate proof is given.
Exactly. You have put up a good fight defense, but in the end, you fell by my hand because you neglected to sharpen your blades.
This is really bad, Apollo.
Tell me about it. If only there was a way to test the samples right here in court.
Hold it! Your Honor, I'd like to say something to the court.
I think we've interrupted the proceedings far too many times already, Detective Skye.
Just hear me out, okay? I'm a certified forensic investigator. I've trained in forensic science for years now. If you can provide me with the correct tools, I can test the samples from the burger place right now for the court. No cheating, no funny business, and we'll all be able to observe the results.
Emma, are you sure about this?
I've never been more sure about anything in my life. The fate of the Write Anything agency depends on this.
Objection! That's absurd. Is what you're suggesting even legal?
There is nothing in our laws that says it isn't.
Go for it, Detective Skye. Maybe we'll finally be able to close this case.
Very well, this is definitely out of the ordinary. Nevertheless, a verdict must be decided on the Instaburger case, and as much as I love the food there, as judge, I have responsibilities to uphold. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you please provide Detective Skye with the necessary forensics tools to perform the test?
Very well, but only on account of my immense dissatisfaction with the previous undercooked meat claims.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. You won't be sorry for this.
Do you think she'll be able to pull this off?
Emma's the best forensic investigator in our district. If anyone can pull this off, she can.
I hope you're right.
Well, Detective Snack Food, we've given you a reasonable amount of time, haven't we? Do you have your results yet?
Things like this take time and precision, you know. But yes, I have finished my test.
So what are the test results? I'm on the edge of my seat here.
After analyzing the soda samples, I have concluded that there was a substantial amount of knockout powder, a sleep-inducing chemical compound, mixed in with the drink. In addition, I detected both Chunky's and Phoenix Wright's fingerprints on the outside of the cup.
What? Oh my! If that isn't conclusive evidence, I don't know what is. I can definitely say with certainty that Mr. Wright's state of unconsciousness was a result of planned poisoning and not an undercooked burger.
Very well, I suppose I must admit defeat. I can promise you that once this trial is over, I shall bring Chucky in for questioning.
Hold it! I confess, it was me. I poisoned one of the customers.
Interesting. The culprit admits his guilt.
Don't make him feel worse, Simon. We're listening, Chucky. What do you want to tell us?
I had no other choice. The guy who told me to slip the poison in the drink threatened to close down the restaurant if I didn't. This restaurant means everything to me. It's all I've got.
That's not a reason to poison our employer, though.
I know. He told me to use something, worse, but I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I just used knockout powder. Your boss isn't physically harmed. He's just unconscious. That's all. I even left you guys a trail of flour to lead you where it happened.
Oh, so that's what that was. That's good to know.
You could punish me for what I did. I won't care. I deserve it. Just keep an eye out for the guy I was working for. He's really dangerous. He's with the government, and I don't think he likes lawyers very much.
Government? I wonder who that could be.
Wow, that's definitely some disconcerting information.
This has been quite an interesting trial, if I do say so myself. But now I believe the time has come to hand down my verdict. Unless the defense and prosecution have any objections, of course.
The prosecution has no objections, and I agree the outcome of this case has been interesting, even if it was not in my favor.
Glad to see Blackbird's taking this well. The defense has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well then. This court finds the defendant Ema Skye not guilty of tampering with evidence, and will officially close the Instaburger case after placing Chucky, the waiter, under the charge of food poisoning.
Yes!
All right!
But of course, there is the fact that despite having proven probable cause, Detective Skye did enter the crime scene without a search warrant. I'm sorry, Detective, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to put you on probation from your criminal affairs work for the next month.
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor.
At least everyone's getting what they deserve.
And I believe that about wraps it up. Court is now adjourned.
Man, am I glad that's over.
You were great out there, Emma. That had to have been the fastest, most accurate, spontaneous forensic test I've ever seen.
You mean the only spontaneous forensic test you've ever seen? It always seems like we get all the weird court cases, huh?
Tell me about it. What's wrong, Emma?
Well, I'm really glad I'm not in jail and all, but no forensic investigations for a whole month? What am I supposed to do with myself?
There's a Steel Samurai marathon starting tonight. Maybe you'd want to watch that.
Steel Samurai? What's that?
Wait, you don't know what the Steel Samurai is?
I spent a third of my life in Europe, so no.
Is that bad?
It's absolutely unacceptable. Tonight, you're coming to my place and watching it with me.
Okay, if you say so.
How about you, Apollo? Want to join us?
You know I'm more of a video game guy, but I'll think about it.
Hey! Are you guys planning a movie marathon without me?
Mr. Wright, you're out of the hospital already?
That's right! I was admitted out of recovery earlier today, and I managed to make it here to watch most of the trial.
Well, we're glad you're okay. Apollo was worried he'd have to hand the agency over to me if anything tragic happened.
I was not.
How are you feeling? If there was any dangerous after effects?
I'm perfectly fine. I've been through a lot worse. If anything, I'm concerned about this mysterious person who's trying to target our agency. I have a hunch about who it could be, but I need to do a little research first.
We'll help in any way we can.
Oh, we'll have plenty of time to research later. This movie marathon isn't gonna watch itself.
I guess you're right. So I'll meet you guys back at the office then.
Sounds like a plan.
See you there.
I can't believe it. My plan. My perfect plan.
Who's that? It looks kind of familiar.
Humph. No use crying over it. I will make these lawyers pay for what they did to me, one way or another.
Hey, wait! Great, he's gone. I wonder what that was all about.
Apollo, you coming or not?
On my way. Emma's right. I'll have plenty of time to look into this later.